A new study into the salaries of college-educated individuals shows that teachers continue to get screwed, even though conservatives would have you think that they're living rich off the hog. Is that what they call it? Rich off the hog?
High off the hog?
One of those things, whatever. Anyway, they're not rich, okay? And if you want the stats, we'll give them to you right now. Elementary school teachers in the United States make 67% of what college-educated workers in other professions earn. High school teachers earn 71% of what other college-educated workers make. So this is an interesting study. And look, it could be a little misleading because are they looking at the average salary of all college-educated employees? Because if you're comparing teachers to a doctor, I mean, obviously they're going to make a lot less. But if they're comparing the averages, then teachers are getting screwed. And that's no surprise, because if you look at the salaries of teachers state by state, they make considerably less than most people who have the same education or level of education.
So it's obvious and it's not obvious. So listen, I have 2 points about this. First of all, there are other countries where that is not an obvious proposition that a teacher should make less than professions like a doctor, lawyer, etc. So in Finland, they decided, no, we think teachers are really, really important. We're going to pay them really well. We're going to pay them above the average. In America, it seems like paying a teacher above average, not like incredibly above average, not like super rich, but just a little above average. Why would you pay a teacher above average? Yeah. It's not like they're a doctor or a lawyer or a lobbyist, not like they're important people, right? No, but in other countries, they decided they were important people, and that was enormously important to the success of the country. Guess what happened? Finland is consistently in the top 3, almost always number 1 or 2 in almost every category in education. Oh yeah, if you emphasize education, you get better education results.
Weird.
Weird. If you value teachers, it turns out they teach better. I love that these come across as shocking thoughts.
Right. I mean, think about anyone else in any other job, right? If you're not compensated properly, then you really have no loyalty to the job that you're doing, even if you're really passionate about it. Look, you have to incentivize jobs. You have to incentivize, doing a good job at what your career is. And so if you're, first of all, constantly criticized in the media and by an entire political party because public schools are failing while they're slashing budgets for these schools, well, then already your morale is going to be low. And then you add that to an extremely low salary. What incentive do people even have to be teachers anymore?
Right. So there's been studies that show the percentage of kids from the top schools, Ivy League schools, et cetera, and where they go. And for decades, they've been going into finance. It doesn't matter what their major is. Philosophy, education, psychology, doesn't matter. Wall Street, Wall Street, Wall Street. Why? Because that's where the money is, right? So if the money was in teaching, some of that top talent might go into teaching. But we as a society have decided, teaching's not that important. It's only our kids.
Yeah.
Right? And because we make that decision, we're the taxpayers. We're the ones who decide how much the teachers get, and we won't pay them. And then on top of that, my second point is that then we have the Republicans and a lot of the mainstream media that then turn around and pretend as if the teachers are the ones that are powerful in this country.
I know, it's incredible.
Like they blame them for all the problems, right? They're like, oh, the teachers' unions, that's what's bankrupting the government.
You never
the trillions of dollars in bailouts to the banks isn't bankrupting the government?
It's incredible.
But the teachers are?
It's incredible because you don't really hear Republicans railing against police unions.
No,
right? And
never.
The police unions have been very aggressive in protecting the officials who were caught on surveillance using excessive force, killing unarmed people. But Republicans don't mind that. They haven't said anything about police unions. When it comes to teachers' unions, though, which honestly offers okay protections for teachers, they lose their minds. And when I say okay protections, yes, some teachers are tenured, and so they get protected in that way. But when it comes to compensation, the teachers' unions are obviously not that powerful because the teachers are not compensated properly. They're just not.
By the way, the pensions that are bankrupting us, that they talk about, you know who gets the highest pensions? Cops. Consistently throughout the country. Not in every state, but on average, higher than almost all the other government jobs. Do teachers have the highest pensions? No, right?
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter. Teachers, they're the problem. They're the ones bankrupting this country. How comical does that sound? And now you have the exact numbers. You know that they make way below average, right? How did they wind up with all the power and all the money? They don't have the money and the power. It was a trick. It was propaganda. By the way, it's a twofer for the Republicans. One, distracts people from the real problems, the lobbyists that are buying off the politicians and allowing the money to get extracted from Wall Street, the oil companies, et cetera, right? And secondly, you knock down education and replace it with your propaganda. Win-win.
Right.